Let's start out our townhouse construction with the idea of a stacked wall. So on the left here, I have an illustration of a series of walls that are used in the project. The tall white one is where the bump out is, and that's just illustrating that we've applied some sweeps to it. The second one is the idea here that we are combining two different walls in what's called a stacked wall unit. This is just a BIM modeler way to facilitate quick construction of walls, and I kind of wanted us to become a little familiar with it, and so I thought this would be a great place to use it. So in this case, we're going to make a stacked wall system out of the brick that we're going to use on our townhouse and the foundation, which will be a stone granite-like material. And we'll put a water table along there, a profile. So let's go ahead and get started with some of this construction. I'm going to bump out to Revit and open up a new project. And we're going to look at the wall tool right away. I'm going to go to wall, and this time, oops, let's try that again. Wall architectural, and we're going to drag down here until we find the concept of a stacked wall. And it looks like I have one in my folder. And so it doesn't matter because we're going to take this one and make it a custom wall system. So I'm going to go ahead now and do edit type right away. And I'm going to duplicate it. And I'll go custom stacked. Just whatever helps us keep track of it. And I'm going to click OK. And we have a chance now to edit the way it's constructed. And one of the misleading things about this dialog box is there's this little box down at the bottom that shows the preview, which is really important. So we have this idea of a brick wall. We're seeing now the section of that wall. We're seeing the brick, and then it's on top of a foundation. So if you look over here, we have exterior brick on metal stud and exterior CMU on metal stud. And it's variable, and we're actually could change one thing here. We're going to make actually two new walls and then import them into this file. But I'm going to just change this to 8 feet right now, just so you can see how we can make changes here. So now our wall is, the base wall is 8 feet, and then we can make the brick run up variable as high as we want to. So that's all we're going to do with getting started with that. I'm going to click OK on it, and OK, as we have to always do. I'll just draw a section of that wall right away, just so we have a way to visualize it. And then let's go to a view, click on the doghouse for the 3D view, and we'll quickly render it. And we come up with this, and I always mention this because I think, I don't know why Revit does this, but the brick that starts out with has this magenta color to it, which just seems unnatural. They even call it magenta. And it has terrible repeats in it. It's just a really horrific looking brick. So the first thing I want to do is create a better brick wall surface. So we're going to do that as we've done before. I'm going to go to, get out of this. I'm still drawing wall here. I'm going to go to architecture wall. And I'm going to find now a piece of brick wall on metal stud. Brick on metal stud. I'm going to go ahead and edit that. I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to call it custom brick. On metal stud. And we'll go to edit right away for that. And we have our brick common there, and we really want to create a new material. So before we get too carried away with that, I'm going to just cancel out of this because we need to download. Well, I can leave this standing maybe. And I want to bounce out to our, let me just escape out of this. This is taking up the full screen. I'm going to go to our website. And if we go up to the in-class learning exercise, you'll notice that I have the, it's the start file for the brick texture. It's actually just the brick texture, not the start file. And that'll download that brick for us. So I'll go ahead and save that. You can see I've done that before already. So we have that brick texture that we want to use to modify. Now I'm going to jump back to Revit. You've already downloaded that, so you may have that available. So let's go to materials here and edit our brick material. We're going to make a new one. You could import this if you already have it, rename it custom brick. And we're going to import that image. I'm going to go to my desktop where I've saved this, grab my brick, open it. Then I'm going to click on the brick, and it's very small scale. It's coming in 1 foot by 1 foot. So we're going to go to the sample size and just change this to 20 feet by 20 feet. Done. Apply. OK. We're not going to see anything on our rendered wall yet because we haven't applied that custom brick to the stack wall. So I'm just going to click OK with all of this to get out of there. And now I'm going to go over to our stacked wall again and go to Edit Type. And we're going to go to Structure. And now where it says Exterior Brick on Metal Stud, I'm going to swap that out for our custom material that we just made for our top. And click OK, and OK. And there we have our brick texture now in our file of our stacked wall. So that is where I'll break this video and start with the next one of modifying the base wall so that it has a kind of a granite tile surface instead of what is right now the CMU units.